Don't let anybody tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing where trading is concerned. Back test way more. Oh, I can make so much money with trading. But there's the actual work that is required that I would tell myself to really dive more into.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another TFT interview. Today I'm joined by Aldin, who comes from Toronto. Welcome, Aldin.
Glad to be here.
My pleasure to host you. So can you tell us first a little bit about yourself and what got you into trading?
As you said before, my name is Aldin Davey. I got introduced into trading many years ago through a network marketing company called Wealth Generators. I found that it was more so recruiting than actual trading education. So I reached out to my first mentor, Nino, and I took his one-on-one advanced course. I even found with him, it got me to a level where I fully, or not fully understood Forex, but like I started to gain ratio that there was more to trading versus just clicking a button. You had to do analysis because I never even seen a chart before I did my mentorship with him. Charts, how to break down charts, support and resistance. He taught me what support and resistance was. And then building from mentor to mentor, from Ryan to Q Banks, who have taught me a lot in the past couple of years on their courses. And then finding consistency through my own back testing. And I'm here today. Yeah, that's been the intro to Forex for me.
And can you tell us a little bit about the learning curve? How was everything? What was the hardest part for you? What did you struggle with the most? How did you overcome those struggles? And how did you find your edge? So tell us a little bit about the whole learning curve.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, the learning curve was long. The learning curve was long.
As for everyone else, I believe that most of the traders have a crazy and long learning curve.
It's true. It's true. My learning curve took many years to go through trial and error, blowing accounts, finding edge. It's like a weird cycle of doom almost. As soon as the trades started to go south, you start thinking maybe this edge no longer works because we understand that the markets are always progressing, always advancing. So maybe it's not working anymore. Let me try something totally different. And you're kind of always method hunting for something new in hopes that this new tool is going to work and stand the test of time. And it never really does until you stay consistent with one thing. Finding my edge took some time, but once I found it, stuck to it. And even currency wise, like I only really trade gold right now. I used to jump around US 30, AUD, USD, USD, JPY, GJ, just to see, all right, if my setup's not here, let me check here and check another currency. But for me, I had to just stick with one, maybe two pairs to find that consistency. And that has been gold for me. With a lot of different traders jumping on and based off of my conversations with them, I feel like a lot of traders are closer to their goal than they actually think they are, but because they're constantly changing their method and not being confident in the skills that they have, that as soon as they get close to that payout or passing that challenge, they switch something up and then they see their equity curve go down, right? Or they just give up too early on their overall journey because it never happened when they thought it would. Everyone's journey is very different. Sure, mine could be long, but I know traders that have become profitable in 2 3 years out of not even knowing what trading was, right? I find if you can let go of that ego and that putting your own mental block on the timeline that it should take to become successful, the journey almost just becomes easier when you take that expectation off of it.
Do you think that you had like limiting beliefs that were stopping you of making the process quicker?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What were those limiting beliefs and how did you change them? And
The biggest limiting belief that I had is if you work hard, you deserve to get this money and success. But switching it over to just working smarter has made it phenomenally easier. Because even when we're younger, and I have immigrant parents, right? My parents came from Jamaica when they were young, moved to Montreal, then they moved to Toronto, and have always taught us work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. Even if you're putting in a lot of hard work in on the charts, if you're not studying the right thing, if you're not back testing properly, you're not really moving forward anyway. So more so changing that limiting to belief to working smarter has helped me to further grasp the charts, looking in the right places, finding the right mentors that are actually showing proven results, and back testing like crazy and having my own structure. Yeah, that was the biggest limiting point for me. Work hard, work hard, work hard.
Yeah, and what did you struggle with the most? Was it to find the edge? Was it a psychological factor?
Finding the edge, like technical analysis for me came easy. And I say that very loosely. It took a long time, but when I grasped it, I had it. The biggest thing for me was money management. Money management was so tough. I was more so trying to work on my win rate, but I would hold my losing trades for so long and cut my winners so short. So even if I won, let's say 70% of the time, my losses were so big that they absorbed majority, if not all of my profits. So as soon as I was able to kind of switch that in reverse to a point where let me drop my losing rate to make sure that my money management is good. Because if I'm trading a certain lot on gold, like 5 lots, I know I don't really go on percentages. I go off of the pips or the specific money that I'm willing to lose to get to my overall goal in that month. That I'm willing to lose a certain amount, money management wise, in order to gain a certain amount. So changing it over from going to like a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1 risk to reward, I go for 1 to 3 minimum or 1 to 5s just to change that over to actually make profit. Because I don't care what your win rate is in Forex. We're here to make money at the end of the day. A lot of people say, oh, yeah, sniper entries. Let me try and become an 80% trader, 90% trader. Sure, there are people out there that are doing it, but you don't need to do that to make money in this, to be honest with you. My win rate right now is in the 60s, but because my risk to reward is so good, I can lose 5 trades in a row and win 3, and I make up for all of those losses tremendously.
I think the biggest like issue is the ego for people that want to have a high win rate. They want to be right. They don't accept the uncertainty of the market and that it's a probability game. They think the way that it's about being right or wrong. With trading, you can be right with the direction, but lose anyway.
Exactly.
Or your stop loss might be just hit, and then the price reverses in the direction that you anticipated.
Those ones hurt when you get stopped out by 1 or 2 pips, and then it just either skyrockets or fall in your direction. It hurts. It hurts so much.
It's like triggers other emotions, so you have to like really know yourself and know how to respond to those triggers and to those emotions so that you won't make more trouble. How is your psychology towards trading now? What have you done to improve your psychology?
I've read a lot of books in the past couple of months. I'm not really big on actually sitting down and opening up a book and reading it. I like Audible because I drive a lot. I'll listen to many, many books on Audible. So just diving into Trading in the Zone, other psychology books like The Richest Man in Babylon. The Little Money Bible is a really, really good book to eliminate limiting beliefs. And after I can give you the author as well. The 10X by Grant Cardone. That's one of my favorite books of all time, to be honest with you. And I read that a couple times a year because I find even with my own psychology, it's work. You have to constantly be working to even stay afloat, let alone to progress, right? So I'll read that book a couple of times a year that whatever you're doing, just 10x it, dive into it further. If your goal this year is to make a certain amount, let's say 100,000, aim for 1 million. You won't go wrong aiming for 1 million. Even if you get to 500,000, that's $500,000. Sure, we know traders that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. $100,000 is still $500,000. No matter how you spin it, it's still really, really good money, right? Aim high, and even if you get halfway, you're still way better off than you would have been.
Do you like set monthly goals, weekly goals, or do you just like adapt on the market conditions and take what the market is offering?
I think it's a little bit of both for myself. So I will definitely have a monthly outlook, or more so, I like to do like a 3 month span. So quarterly, you can say. At the end of the quarter, I want this much in my bank account. Like I'll just set that number ridiculously high. Regardless if I hit it or not, I'll have that goal and then break down my charts on a weekly basis and see what the market gives me, where I can execute on my strategy and pull money from the market. Because my mindset right now is to have a system that ensures withdrawals. That's it. As long as I can make withdrawals, I don't care how big or small my withdrawal is, as often as I can, I need to make withdrawals. We think of it like this, and I'm sure you're the same, where you have a certain amount of bills that come out of your bank account every single month, whether it's 5 bills, 10 different bills, 20 bills, whatever your case is. Your average person has two deposits back into the bank account on the 1st and the 15th versus let me have as many withdrawals or as many deposits as I do deductions out of my account, and it's eventually going to balance itself out and get you ahead. So my thing, once again, a system that ensures withdrawal, so I can have as much of those as possible, and inevitably I'm going to get to my goal based off of what the market gives me.
Don't you think that setting goals sometimes makes you force trades?
That's why I set them loosely. So for example, if at the end of the quarter I want $100,000, but at the end of the quarter I've made $40,000. That's still $40,000. I'm happy with that. So the loose goal is more so to aim very high with the understanding that I might not get there, but I'll still be a lot further than I was. And it's just a compounding effect. We have to give ourselves grace at the end of the day and not be super, super hard on ourselves if we don't hit our goals. It's better than not attempting our goal in the first place. We're going to keep moving forward over and over and over. And even if you fall, you're still falling forward at the end of the day, right? Just keep pushing, and give yourself grace if you don't hit the goal, because we don't always hit our goals. I don't always hit my goals, but I'm still aiming to continuously try. Better than not try. Why not, right?
Exactly. I totally agree with you. What kept you motivated to like keep going when you've been like blowing the accounts, failing the challenges? Like the beginning was a roller coaster, like for most of the traders. So what gave you the motivation to like keep going? How did you understand that trading is something that you want to stick to?
That's a really good question, because it's very easy to want to quit trading because losing money hurts, especially in the beginning when you don't have a lot to play with, or you have other responsibilities that require the money, and you've just, oh shoot, I can't pay rent because I just blew my Forex account kind of thing. It's a real feeling. I'm not the only one that has gone through that, you know? So I think at the same time, understanding that regardless of my circumstance, I've seen enough out of trading that I know it doesn't matter how far into the red I will go. If I stay consistent with this and become profitable, I will get myself far out of that 10 times over. Trading is the one thing that I've encountered out of many different businesses that has such a phenomenal upside. I'd be crazy if I stopped. To be honest with you, I would just be crazy if I stopped. You know it as well as I do. You would be crazy if there's just so much upside to trading. One of my big examples is Q Banks. I've followed Q Banks for years. Obviously, he's one of my mentors as well, right? Seeing his progression from obviously the different material things he's had, but his lifestyle change over time. And it hasn't been that long, realistically speaking, like 7 to 10 years. Sure may seem long, but it goes by very quickly. That is another thing that helps to keep me motivated, because it affirms that belief I have, because trading has that upside that I can also see it from somebody else and have now started to see it for myself. That wanting to quit mindset fades very, very quickly when you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, or at least have a deep understanding that it's there. You may not be there right away. To be honest with you, the vast majority of people don't even see the light of the tunnel. But having the understanding is there, we can refer to faith in God, or whatever you believe in. I have faith in God. I've never like physically seen God before, but my faith is so strong in God that I can't not believe in God. He's been too good to me. You know what I mean? So taking that same belief into trading, of understanding that there is such an amazing upside, like I can achieve greatness in trading, mind you, phenomenally, making a difference in other people's lives, teaching them, coaching them, whatever the case may be, trading, providing for my own family. There's just too much upside. There's literally too much upside for me to not be motivated by it every single day.
I totally agree. And as soon as you find the profitability, the growth is exponential. It happens so quickly. What is the thing that you like the most with trading?
That's a deep one that I haven't thought about in a very long time. I would say the thing I like the most about trading is the freedom. I've traded in other countries when I went on vacation. I've had good days and bad days in other countries, of course. Just the aspect of, let's say if I want to book off time from work, I'm not getting paid. I'm a contractor. So if I take time off of work, I'm not getting anything, not a single penny. But if I were to go to another country, I can still leverage my money and make some money wherever I am. The biggest part about trading for me is the time freedom it brings and the financial freedom that it brings. That's my favorite thing.
Have you realized things about yourself that you didn't know before with the help of trading? And what are those things that you realized about yourself?
This may sound weird, but trading is therapy. Trading is going to uncover some things in your mindset and psychology that you never even thought were there, that you never even dreamed would be there. It's going to teach you a lot about yourself, fighting against yourself, your own ego, everything, the aspects of the different voices on your external, the people around you. Honestly, trading is therapy, man. It's just going to uncover so much. It's crazy. What about you?
That's my favorite part, the personal development. That I don't think that there is another profession that gives you so much, forces you indirectly to work so much on your personal development and on yourself. It's not like something just that is just giving us the opportunity to make money and give us freedom, but also something that is definitely making us a better person, makes us more aware. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. Like, start understanding every single situation, and kind of success is like having control over what you do and what you feel.
No, I agree 100%. I recommend everybody, and I understand not everyone's going to be successful with trading. I recommend everybody to trade for a year and then see a psychologist after, because but like try it for a whole year and just uncover different things about yourself and grow from it. If nothing else, trading is going to help you to grow as a person, if nothing else.
Yeah, definitely. If you focus on every single trader is going through different stages. At the beginning, usually most of us just jump in and we think it's a get rich quick scheme and we just look for the holy grail strategy. But it ends up that, okay, it's not about the strategy, it's more about the mindset and the psychological factor. So many people don't realize the psychological factor quite a long time. And this is a problem. And that's why many people give up, because they think that it's about the strategy and they're looking and then can't find anything that works. When they start working on understanding themselves and understanding their inner issues and the triggers that make them take those bad decisions, then that's the game changer. Do you have a journal, like about the trades? You mentioned that you're keeping a journal and you follow your statistics, but do you also journal your emotions? How did you work on your psychological factor? Because once in a while we're all experiencing FOMO or greed. So how do you manage all those things, all those emotions?
In all honesty, I don't journal down how I feel or nothing against or anything but when it comes to my trading, I don't. I look myself in the mirror and talk smack to myself. Honestly, I just talk to myself. I openly journal, if you will. I just talk to myself. Okay, this trade, honestly, why did I lose this trade? Because I got greedy. I was in profit. I should have closed it out. Okay, this money could have been used to pay for this or pay for that. And it's more so just talking myself off the cliff so that when I'm in this situation again, I know, all right, let me close, let me not get greedy because I know what I can do with this money. Because trading is more so a vehicle. A lot of people view it as a be all end all. So they look for those big trades to buy their mom a house or something. And once again, I want to buy my mom a house. Well, she already has a house, but I want to be able to do those things. But when you put so much of a mental strain or a mental expectation on what trading should and will do for you, it's very easy to get emotional about these different trades, right? So without journaling, it's more so just talking to myself, understanding what these wins, what these losses are doing for my psychology, and kind of trying to form a detachment from it, because it's easier to trade from a detached point of view than it is from an emotional point of view. We're human beings. We can never get rid of our emotions unless those chips and the AI and all of that. But there's no way that it's going to actually be done in the present moment right now. So we have to practice being detached from the dollar aspect of it, right? And taking off. And I think it's a limiting belief where we're so attached to money because our society runs on it. We need it to buy food. If I'm hungry, I need currency to be able to do it, right? But at the same time, try your best to detach from it as much as possible. And you're going to see a world of a different change, to be honest. That's how I just train myself psychology wise.
Do you think that it's important to have another source of income apart from trading?
1000%. 1000%. So one of the things that I learned from The Richest Man in Babylon is never neglecting your first form of income, essentially. So let's just say you're driving Uber or something and you want to trade. Don't stop doing Uber just because you want to trade. Keep doing Uber. Fund your account or get a prop firm challenge and keep both of them going as long as you can, anyways, until it's reasonable for you to be able to quit your job. You have a good nest egg, but don't give up that first income. Keep going as long as you can with that to have that balance. So you're not always thinking, I need to make money from trading today or tomorrow, or I don't eat for the month. It takes a huge mental strain off if you have multiple streams of income, multiple streams. It actually becomes easier to become profitable, in my humble opinion, to become easier to become profitable if you have other streams of income as well. So I've definitely worked on getting other streams just to make sure if I have a bad day or a bad month in trading, I'm not crying. You know what I mean? And then when I do have a good day, I'm not overly excited because it's just not my mainstream anymore. It just also helps with practicing a detachment because you're not attached to just this one thing because your mental energy or emotional energy is already so evenly balanced with other things that if trading were to go away tomorrow, it's not the end of the world. For a lot of people, if trading went away tomorrow, it's done. Like their mindset's done. They're off this, you know what I mean? So practicing that detachment from it and trying to get other streams should be your number one. Trading is a vehicle. It shouldn't be a be all end all, in my opinion.
What was your biggest eye-opening moment with trading?
I believe my personal biggest eye-opening moment for trading was realizing that there is money to be made on every single pair. For a while when I was trading AUD USD, I thought, okay, I need to switch off to another pair just to make more money because there's more pips versus just getting really good at the skill set, tweaking your lot size, managing risks properly, and you can make crazy money on any pair you want. It doesn't matter if it's NZD, USD, US 30, gold, silver, doesn't matter what it is, you will make money on every single pair once you have the skill set, but you learn the traits of that currency, you'll make money on every pair. Yeah, that was definitely one of my biggest moments for me because I was always looking for that holy grail or that perfect pair that would give me 500 pips in a day. And obviously we know US 30 is capable of that, but US 30 is a beast and not everyone's meant to drive US 30. It's one of the fastest supercars out there. And if you put a toddler in a supercar, they're probably going to crash. So that was definitely a big moment for me.
So you mentioned that you're only trading gold, right?
Yes, strictly.
And how did you decide to stick to gold?
Sticking to gold was more so how often I back tested it, to be honest. And seeing that it was kind of in between the range of pips that I was looking for in any given day, because I'm an intraday trader. I love how gold moves. I trade gold very unorthodox. I trade gold specifically in Asian session, not New York. I'll probably close my trades before New York or right before London, depending on if I'm comfortable with the profits I got. I just like how it moves around that time. So in the morning, go off to work, and in the evening is when I have that time to trade. And if I wake up for a New York session, I'll wake up for a New York session. But if I already got my profits from Asian session on gold, I'm good. I'll worry about the next Asian session instead of having to force something in New York. Yes, there's more volatility and volume in New York session, but I personally just like Asian session. So the way it moves during that is perfect for me. It's a matter of like every personality is very, very different. Some people's personality is better going to fit US 30, or it's better going to fit silver, or it's better going to fit GJ. For me, it was gold. I've traded so many different pairs, even the most random like AUD JPY for a day. And I'm like, this doesn't fit me. It doesn't fit me, but gold fits me the best. Do you have a pair that fits you the best?
I trade three, EU, GU, and US CAD, but I'm mostly into EU, Euro USD.
So you don't want to just dive fully into EU, or you like having your options?
EU and GU are correlated, so sometimes, let's say, usually I get the setup at the same time. If one of them moves quicker and I miss the setup, then I can catch it on the other one. And then US CUD, when I don't have setups on EU and GU, then sometimes I get on US CUD, and I have like watched it for quite a long time and like got familiar with it. That's why I've been sticking to those three. It's kind of like picking a soulmate and getting to know them better.
Exactly. Exactly. But let's make this analogy. Are you going to have three different soulmates that you're going to
No, definitely not.
You're going to dedicate your time to one, right? So yes, I've dabbled in other currencies, and gold is it's just worth it to me. Why step away from the one I love? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Quick 10 pips here and there kind of thing. It's just not worth it long term.
I'm still kind of dating, feels like.
That's okay.
We will see which one is going to be the soulmate in the future.
It's you have the perfect analogy. You're still dating. You have to date there. If you start Forex, stick to one pair until the very end, see what fits your personality. And then once you get an understanding of which one is the most consistent with where you are psychologically, then jump onto it full time. So,
can you tell us a little bit about your strategy? Can you share the screen, by the way? Maybe you can show us.
So, how I trade is based off of breaks, retests, entries. I keep it very basic, but at the same time, I have multiple strategies because the market's always changing, always progressing. Even though it technically always repeats itself, I think you have to be well equipped to be able to conquer or even survive the different aspects of the market during a consolidation market, a trending market, bull, bear, whatever the case is. I think it's good to have multiple strategies just to make sure that there isn't a significant gap in between your trading until consolidation resumes or until trends resume based off of how you trade. So one of my more recent trades, I would say, was this one this week, actually, Tuesday, based on the fact that I saw gold the rejections up in this area. Now, this is my quarter point. This is the 2050 quarter point. And then if we go up to the daily, we can see that these are gold highs based off of the previous years from 2020, 2022, and then back 2023, of course, right? Now, personally, I don't use any indicators. It's strictly supply, demand, support, resistance, trend lines, counter trend lines, Fibonacci. Fibonacci is really big for me. As it started to reject out of this level, now how I recognize trend changes because I don't use Fibonacci, because I don't use moving averages. What I'll do is I'll draw my fib. So let's just say for this example, more so top-down analysis, but on the daily time frame, where this supply and demand zone is up here, this yellow area, we can see that gold always kind of rejects from here. So back in 2020, it rejected. 2022, it rejected as well when it came up to this 2000 level. A couple weeks ago, it tapped it. And then again, 2 weeks ago or so, or last week, it came back up in this area again and started rejecting out of it. Now, once it closed underneath this quarter point, I knew that there was going to be some sort of a push to the downside, at least as a lower retest to get back to the upside based off of how I draw my trend lines. Now, how I draw my trend lines is more so a zone. So instead of just going here, just like that, I'll drag this, more of a funnel, point A to point B, wherever it is, and then drag it out based off of the wick itself. Go from my point A level, down here, to around here, which is my point B, and then I'll drag the actual wick. And then that line in the middle is more so a median level. So I can see that as price pushes down into this area, it's more of a zone of a trend line as opposed to just a specific line. And there's no way we all have the same lines on screen that the market's going to hit. It's more so an overall zone, right? And then I use quarter points. So up here, we'll go to the 2000 quarter point, 2000 flat, and that gets us right here in the middle. So based off of those rejections, I jumped down to the 4 hour, 12 hour, 8 hour, 3, 2, and then the 1. But we'll just go for the 4 hour for now. As it's creating these lower high points, and we'll see it more in detail on the H1. Now I'm just looking for trend continuations. So the first lower high, I don't take it. Second lower high is when I'm starting to take sells, okay? Once we break past these levels, random line right here, more so on the H1 chart, we can fully understand that we're in a downtrend. Okay. But based off of this lower high point and then this support and resistance being broken, now I'm fully in for the sells. I was able to catch sells based off of this being a higher low point with my Fibonacci. And then I'll break down why I put these other lines on the screen as well. Now, I like to trade more so off the 50, the 61, and the 70 area. So it started to retrace off of this level on the lower time frame. We'll drop down to the 15-minute to see those rejections. Now, I did get stopped out of the first entry and then re-entered again. And then it started to push down until it got back to these lows right here, support and resistance lows. From point A being up here to point B, that 61.8 being hit, and I'll take it back to these levels down here. So now that we finally break these levels, that's when I'm more confident in the sells, where anything up in this level is I'm taking it. So as it comes back and it retests this level, I took that trade. But the more recent trade, which is my favorite setup, I would say, is counter trend line break, retest, and then that entry.
Do you enter on the 15-minute?
I enter on the 10-minute time frame. Yeah, so as it started creating these lower highs, I drew a counter trend line, waited until, once again, Asian session, and then took the trade, sat in a little bit of drawdown. This was a 3-to-1 risk to reward, and then I closed it right before London. So in that 230 range, it hit my take profit, which was based off of this supply and demand zone down here as well. Of course, it kept going, and it just completely tanked. So based off of this high over here and the low, waiting for it to retest support and resistance as well as a Fibonacci just to give myself more confirmation. It comes up, taps that 50, and then starts to push down, breaking past this counter trend line, also respecting this support and resistance on both sides. If I were to drag this over to see, it respects it on both sides. And once it phases through this with a couple of candles, now I'm really interested in sells and I can up my lot size based off of that confidence. And once it hit this level, I was out of the trade. My take profits, the negative 27, negative 61, negative 100, and the negative 150 based off of my different strategies. So it all depends on what I see would take me to that level. So based off of this, the overall take profit is to the negative 150. So we can see gold continuing down to the 1940 level.
You have big risk to rewards if you hold so long.
Exactly. As soon as it started retracing, I would have been kind of upset that I let go of all of that profit. But at the same time, I'm still growing in myself. I also have to learn to trust my analysis over time as well. Sure, this was $10,000, but the thought that creeps up in a lot of traders' mind, oh, this could have been $50,000 or it could be $100,000, right? And that's a feeling that may go away for a lot of people, but for some, it may not go away because there's always that what if moment. What if I held my trade? But what if it went against me and I lost a trade, right? Trading is a probability game. So based off of my risk to reward, I don't want to get greedy. And I said that to myself before I closed. I'm happy with this profit. I don't want to get greedy. I'll be pretty pissed if it reverses. So let me just close it right now. And as soon as it closed, it started to pull back. Even for a couple of hours before it continued, this is all hindsight. Now, as soon as it started to pull back, a lot of people would have been upset. All my profits gone. And they probably would have just closed out and that right before it took off. And then now you're out of the trade altogether and you're upset, right? So might as well just not get greedy and then let the market do what it's going to do.
So, what advice would you give to new traders that are just getting started?
Don't let anybody tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing where trading is concerned. Back test way more. Step away from the hype of trading a lot sooner because when we get into trading, it's like that shiny new thing, right? I was like that where it's, oh, I can make so much money with trading, but there's the actual work that is required that I would tell myself to really dive more into. Back test, watch webinars, a lot of training videos, but key is back testing. Spend hours and hours and hours instead of watching videos for hours. Spend hours back testing, tweaking your strategy, tweaking your psychology, because there's psychology in back testing too that you have to overcome, right? That's definitely a big thing I would tell myself and also new traders. Step away from more so fantasizing about trading and actually get into your own dungeon and back test like crazy to a point where you're living out that fantasy in real life instead of just on a screen or on social media or behind this computer. Get into it, backtest as much as you can, and don't be afraid to put your real money at risk once you've found that you have a slight edge in the market. Because once you're trading, even if it's 50 or $100, a lot of these brokers will let you start an account with $10. Trade 0.01s until you find a level of consistency, but get familiar with trading real money. Your psychology is attached, your emotions are attached to your money, right? The Bible says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So if you're putting a lot of money into it, you're going to naturally become more attached to Forex and be inspired to grow through it as opposed to just demo trading. Because I find a lot of people that trade demo for too long don't actually end up going live ever. So definitely don't be afraid to put your own capital at risk in the beginning. And then once you've found a level of success with it or consistency, leverage another company's money with the allotted risk that they give you, of course, and then start making withdrawals and go from there.
What are your plans and goals with trading and in general in life? Like, where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years from now?
Well, with trading, I definitely want to grow further. Right now, I have a few accounts with TFT and another firm as well. So I definitely want to be able to manage millions of dollars in funding and then allot it to my own funding and then grow with that. But maybe even managing a firm one day, to be honest.
Okay, any last words that you would like to share with us?
I would say for anybody that is watching this that feels like they want to trade, but they don't know where to start, connect with different people in your city. It's good to talk with people in person about it, not just on the internet, to get into a community where there is a support system. Because a vast majority of people don't have the people around them supporting them where Forex is concerned. So get into a community, tap in with whoever is around you trading wise, and almost feed off of each other for growth, to be honest. Get into a group where you can feed off of each other and then really find somebody or just hold yourself accountable to the growth. Be down for the mission and don't stop until you succeed because there is a light at the end of the tunnel, despite how dark it is, to be honest. Keep going. Don't ever stop. Trading has crazy, crazy upside. Just keep going. Keep going.
Thank you so much for your time and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you and hear all your story. I hope we're going to have a follow-up interview in the near future. Thank you.
Take care.
To all of you watching, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and show us some love in the comments down below. Trade safe, and until next time.